Okay, so now I've got the radiator just set in here. Hard to pick up, but there's our other brace going in on this side, coming underneath. If I pick this up, it's still very hard to pick up. Almost impossible, but it comes through on this side, comes underneath, and the second bolt goes right in here. Top obviously is going to go in here with the bolt coming through the opposite way. Have bolt, put a washer actually up underneath on both sides here. This side you might be able to see a little bit better. Needed to drop the whole thing so that I could get some better belt clearance. And that did the trick. Hopefully I've got enough here that's going to hold this, so I'm thinking about putting some Loctite on that while I have it apart at this point to do so. Other thing, when you cut out this brace, you have to grind out a bunch of this anyways. I ended up having to come in and actually grind out more in order to get my clearance here. Probably would not have had to, because that was prior to me realizing I needed to put the washers in. So just kind of watch that, see how it lays out for you. You may or may not need to cut out as much as I did there. Here's our pulley. In my case, I had one additional washer in here that was standard. It was actually a thin washer. I was able to put a thicker washer in its place, which bumped this out a little bit further. That worked out perfectly for what I needed from a clearance standpoint. Again, our 3 washers here on each of these. When you take these back out, it'll go ahead and loosen up because it's not overly snug. It'll stay tight, but it's something that I'm going to check after riding just to make sure that it doesn't work its way out a little bit. This side right now is a little loose because I didn't put a vice grip on it before I loosened it. So had the vice grip handy. Other than that, the cut is made, and I am ready now to put the Loctite on here, then put this cover on, so then I'll be ready to go from that standpoint. And then once I have the physical pieces back together, then it is on to the final piece, which is the electrical. So while I had this apart, changed out the belt, so everything is brand spanking new from a belt standpoint, ready to go. Just one other piece of clarification. I had read where somebody unfortunately had put the pulley on, Loctited it in that area before putting this cover on. As I look at the vehicle, it is left hand side as you're on it. Facing forward, it's your right hand side. This cover goes on first, then you Loctite and snug your pulley, and then the opposite side cover goes on. So just don't forget that. Just real quickly, for the radiator, you need to tap out this particular hole to get it wide enough so that it will slide in here. And actually this one I need to snug out just a little bit more. The other one I've already got good to go. This then goes on, if you didn't pay attention, when you took it off, it goes on like so on both sides. I actually, you don't need a washer or anything at that point. It will push this in as you screw in that nut. So I gotta open this a little bit more, but don't forget about extending that out and dropping this piece in, and you've got plenty of clearance to get that in. Radiator's about to go in for the final time. Real quickly on the alternator, as you kind of see, there's a T on that alternator. On the T, your hot wire to allow it to charge is the one on the left. And then I just merely have the main ground, or I'm sorry, that's not ground, that's to the positive terminal. Wire running up through, ultimately I have it just coming right along this bar at the moment and connecting in through this fuse. I'm still looking for a better fuse that has some better posts to it that would allow me to actually put it right in that area, but for now it fits. I have put the cover on and it will work, but not ideal for what I was anticipating. But then again, this is a customization, so all bets are off. Alright, so to show you where you need to adjust the bottom of the fairing here just ever so slightly. In my case, the pulley was right here. There was a piece that went across there. I cut that little piece out and then I heated this up, pushed it in. Same thing underneath, and this is very hard to see, but right there I did, so sorry about that, but essentially heated this side up, and then actually I just used a screwdriver handle to kind of push it in and roll it to make it work. And then on the other side, same thing, just a little bit of heat. Be very careful, just the very tip. I think I had my propane torch here a good about 6 inches away, just enough going back and forth to give it some heat. So that's good to go. This is what is left of the piece that originally went down here. As you can see, I had to cut almost all of it out. If you take a look here, I was able to cut down, leave just enough here so that I would have my bolt and get our little pretty shield back on, and everything else seems to be good to go at this point, so it's going on. As for the bottom of the radiator, the piece that goes across, I am not going to worry about that. All I'm going to do is just adjust so this piece is on, the other piece is going to go on, and I'm not going to have that piece go across. But that is the only piece that is not going back on the bike at this point. There's our alternator, locked and loaded, ready to go at idle, 14.2. Flip on my lights, still 14.2. So very happy.